welcome to Wreckers 6.0.3 Kargath Bladefist Normal and Heroic Guide. This is not for Mythic, as Mythic will have different mechanics, keep that in mind. It will be from the Prot Warrior perspective, but a lot of the things that I'm going to do and say you can apply to other tank classes as well. So let's get started with a couple of his abilities. The first of which is going to be the abilities from the stands. As you can see, we're in a Coliseum type arena. Well, in the stands are a few different mobs. Iron Grunt, which will only affect the raid that is in the stands. It's just a normal melee mob to do normal melee damage to anyone that's attacking. The Iron Bombers, which will throw down bombs on the raid, and it's like a little dot debuff that does damage. It's just something you're going to have to deal with and heal through. And the Belchers, which will throw the little poison goop spots on the ground. Now, you have a moment to move from the goop spot before it is fully landed. Meaning, if you see one in melee and it's cock blocking them from doing damage, make sure you move the boss as soon as possible so they can get back to doing that damage. Now, another mechanic is going to be the Impale, which is the tank swap mechanic. For Impale, you're going to want to do a couple of things as a warrior. First, on the first Impale, when you have no stacks, you're going to want to use Demoralizing Shout. The second one, when you have already one stack and you're going to be taking tons of damage, you want to use Shield Wall. Both times you want to make sure to save up plenty of rage to use a shield barrier just before the cast of Impale finishes and just as he begins to channel it, as you will not be able to use it during the channel as you're suppressed. You can also save up enough rage for after the shield barrier to use right after the Impale so your healers have time to get you up. You can counteract this by simply, having your healers heal you up throughout this, or by using Enrage Regeneration if you're low before or after Impale. You can also use Last Stand before or after Impale to guarantee your survival. Now, let's talk about shield block usage. Depending on whether you're the first or second tank will depend on when you go up in the stands. The tank that tanks him first will go into the stands first. So you want to keep this in mind so that you can save at least one charge of shield block for the stands so that you can quickly pull up a bunch of mobs, shield block, and get to producing that damage so that your healer's not screaming at you. Now, shield block you also want to use at good times. If he's about to Berserking Rush, he's going to stop attacking you and your shield block will be wasted. Also, whenever he's about to do chain pull, don't use shield block, as he will jump into the middle and stop auto-attacking you. Also, once he hits a fire pillar, he is going to disorient for a few moments, thus not be auto-attacking. Shield barrier, I already mentioned its uses. Outside of that, you just want to use it if you're near rage cap. Something else I want to mention about Impale is while your other tank is tanking, when the other tank takes Impale, you can use Safeguard to really mitigate the damage. If you use it at the right time, you'll get the full duration of Safeguard. The cast, or the channel of Impale is 8 seconds. The buff from Safeguard is 6. That is 20% for the majority of the Impale. You can use this on every Impale that hits your other tank. Keep that in mind. Alright, so I guess I want to go ahead and mention when you go up in the stands, as that covers, well, there's one more thing. The little pits with the tigers, you just want to stay away from those. You can skirt around the borders and you can run in between the fire pillar and the pit and be fine, but if you get too close, you're going to fall in and take some damage. Luckily, in normal and heroic, it's not a one-shot, but it does significant damage that you do not want to be taking. Now, once you go up into the stands, well, the first thing you're going to do is grab this Iron Bomber and the Belcher, and then go ahead and run down that way. You really want to just gather as many Iron Bombers and Belchers as you can, as those are the mobs that are going to be affecting the raid. That covers it. It's pretty much just a repeat mechanic. Swap at 2 stacks of Impale, go up in the stands, kill the mobs, avoid stuff, don't get hit by Berserking Rush, and etc. Oh yeah, Berserking Rush is something I haven't talked about. Now, as you can see on the screen, the DK, which is my other tank, Hawes the motherfucking boss, is positioning the boss right behind the pillar. The reason why you want to do this is as soon as he berserking rushes, he's going to run right through the pillar. Melee's not really going to have to move. Which another thing, notice how on this scene, the melee are moving out of the way of berserking rush. You want to make sure that you not only position the boss so that melee can do this, but you want to make sure that your melee is doing this. As if they're standing in between the range and the boss, they're going to die regardless once berserking rush comes out. That pretty much covers it. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, you can leave a like, comment with any questions, or if you have any things that you do to help increase your survivability or anything like that. And make sure you subscribe for more.
We're the best!
Hooray!